72.
You in camp with them?
I'm in camp every day. Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Ron Harper, Tony Kukoc, Steve Kerr. Those are my assignments. Every day.
Speak to the people about it, man. Listen. You lived it. I hear stories about it. Give me a snippet of what's that like. What's the ego? What's the bravado? What's the mentality? What's the approach? They champs.
Yeah.
Are they coming in like, yo, go get this coffee?
Level of intensity in everything.
Wow.
I'll race you $500, I can beat you downtown. I bet you $100 I can throw my shirt off the wall into the laundry bin. Everything was that level of intensity, so when it came to a game, it was so normal.
Everybody wanted to compete.
Everybody, whether it was pool, they was competing. Michael wanted to pay me one day check for check. I said, dude, I'm not betting my check against yours. But everything, come on, young fella, was like, let's raise, whether it's free throw shooting.
Listen, I heard a story that Mike said, yo, everybody in this hotel, this whole hotel, this floor is for Mike. I already had a whole floor in the hotel, but that's another story.
But the funniest story is the Jack Haley story. Jack Haley came with Dennis Rodman to keep Dennis Rodman out of trouble.
Right.
So Jack Haley's running his mouth one day in the locker room. Yeah, Dennis, tell him what we did to Michael when he came to San Antonio wearing that number 45 BS. Michael was leaving the locker room.
Right.
He came back in and said, listen, you ain't make this team yet. Ain't no free for all. You gotta earn your right on this team. I see what goes around this mamma jamma, and walked out. So I'm sitting there with my mouth wide open like, did you just hear what just happened? Mm-hmm. And ever since then, Jack Haley, come on, Mike, yeah. And that was the last spot.
Oh!
So that's when I got released. Now, you say everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
That was the year of the Million Man March.
Right.
My pops wanted to go.
Right.
So I go home, cursing the NBA out. I said, I thought you wanted to go to Million Man March. He's like, yeah, but you wasn't going to be here. You wasn't not going to be here. I was like, dude, let's go. I ran into a kid on my block, million people, took a picture of me and my dad. My dad died 2 weeks later.
Wow.
Had I made the Bulls, had I not get a chance to experience that type of atmosphere, as a black man with my dad, dude, a storybook.
Wow.
That's when I went to go get the paper. So listen, I got to go overseas. I got to take care of the family.
I did what I had to do.
I reached the pinnacle of playing with Mike in that group. I realized I made the best level of play I could. It was time to go get that money. Then I went overseas. And
what was the first stop overseas?
South of France.
Okay. What city?
Chalon.
Okay.
I'm kicking and screaming, and I'm like, never coming home. And just to see the world, still do something I love to do at a high level. Now, people don't realize Paul Gasol was still at Barcelona. Manu Ginobili was at Team Bologna. All them guys that you see now were still overseas back then.
I need to educate. Sorry to digress for a second, but a lot of young people that I'm sure that watch the show like, man, I ain't going to league, I'm going overseas. They think it's just a rite of passage to be able to say, you see your disposition just now? How you set up? Like, come on, man. Like, don't be disrespectful. Because we saw what happened in the Olympics.
Yes.
We saw what happened, not the Olympics, whatever the World Games this summer, right? How the U.S. just looked crazy. You can't keep sending fourth-tier players over here thinking it's sweet. So, talk a little bit about the international game and how it's not an automatic if you don't make the NBA that you're going to be, number one, get a chance to be in a high level in the A division.
Right.
Number two, have success. Number three, get paid on time.
Right.
And have your accommodations and everything the way it's supposed to be. When you get into a great situation, I'm sure it's amazing, but educate our student athletes who have a misconception about what the international experience is, because you've had many, good and bad, I'm sure.
Facts.
So talk a little bit about that.
Well, you have to understand the international player, big or small, could do so many different things. They can dribble, they can shoot, they can pass. The NBA is a specialist league. You can have a great career and just rebound. You can have a great career and just shoot. When you're the import going overseas, they want you to shoot, pass, rebound, and do all those things.
Skilled players win overseas.
Yes, so some people who just did one thing in the NBA, it doesn't translate overseas because they want you to do
one exception to the rule. Conrad McRae.
Yes.
He was a specialist, but the thing about Rad is his personality. He was so infectious.
Yes.
And it was like, every time I saw anything about him, because I never got a chance to watch him, but the things that I saw and the things that I heard, it was like the people embraced him and he embraced the cultures.
Yes.
And it was like he was just lovable.
Right.
On top of the fact that he was blocking shots and dunking and playing with that McNasty alter ego.
Yes.
He was an exception to the rule.
Agreed.
But most of the players are like, they love skilled bigs. They love big guards who can put it on the deck and pass and play the right way. So Vincent Smith actually prepared you for a great career overseas. Because we keep going back to that, right? Skill, work ethic, they practicing 2 times a day.
3 times a day.
It's what you was used to.
Yep.
So now you what were some of the highlights overseas?
I'd probably say the championship team in Italy wasn't expected to win the championship. And we won it flat out, didn't even have to go to the playoffs.
Oh wow. EuroLeague.
Yes.
Okay.
And just that, to me, that level of play, and it was tough.
Yeah,
it was tough.
but
and
fun.
a 2 guard, not only am I gotta get points, I gotta defend probably mostly the 2 guards, because there was always the American 2 guards. Okay, you gotta guard them. Most of the international players were afraid of them.
Right.
And that was a level of to me, just a rival to be on the cover of some of those magazines over there. And just to be able to have my job for a full year when people gunning for you, man.
right. Because people were getting sent home.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure how much you get back home.
Right.
But what we knew in New York City was, remember playing in 55th and playing in a Pro-Am and playing in the greater Pro-Am and the Nike. It was differently West 4th Street.
Right.
That is pretty much like a non-existent thing anymore.
Wow.
You didn't even know that.
No, I did not.
So everything is high school now. Remember we used to come home like Tuesday and Thursday night was Hunter College.
Yeah, come on. Yes, sir. Yep.
Right? And playing with Mr. Couch and
Lincoln.
Gold's Gym, and, right?
Yep.
Those things don't, like Rucker Park is nobody there.
Wow.
So talk about the experience, because I lived it, right? You were a high-level player. Sought after, guys calling you, you play with your same crew of Gold's Gym and all that. But that New York City basketball, right? Because remember, you were a little bit before me, so when I got a chance to get invited to go and play in a run, to go down to Basketball City. I don't know if you was at the Basketball City that day Magic Johnson was in there. And he beat Strick 7 times in a row. Strick.
Oh, no.
but anyway, we'll get back to that. But now I don't think people realize or even recognize how that was, man. It was like, I felt like that was the NBA.
Yeah.
For me. So you going over from overseas, you coming back here, I have to think that helped keep you sharp.
It's funny, the summer times for me was one league and work on your weaknesses.
Okay.
I didn't travel. I wasn't $500 here, $600 there. I need to work on my weaknesses. And back then it was the Pro-Am. You either played in the Nike or the Pro-Am that used to be at City College.
It was the New York Greater Pro-Am.
Yes.
92nd Street
Yes.
too.
Yes. And those were the 2. Other than that, when we had the runs, those were battles. Steve Burke, Reggie Freeman, Adrian Autry. I can go down the list. I mean, those were.
Reese.
And if you couldn't walk up there no name, you wasn't getting on the court. And it was nonstop, 4 or 5 hours.
Oh,
just that allowed me to be in the position I am now. So then we go into. I've always wanted to be with kids.
Okay.
The Red Line Athletics is a youth athletic training center, same partner.
Wow, okay.
We have 2 here in Atlanta. We are the area rep from Tampa to Miami.
Okay.
So eventually we have to get to Miami and build a brand, but we're still here in Georgia trying to build a brand, hence how Shane ended up working
Shane
for us.
Big shout out to Shane Gatson, man. It's awesome to be able to see, the stories that cultivate themselves from business opportunities in basketball and using the game and not letting the game use you, right? We often talking to kids about, creating opportunities, networking, building relationships, doing things that's going to create longevity for yourself and hopefully, for your family, for years to come. So when you build this Orange Theory and Red Line brand, you can leave it for the next generation of people to come after you. And that's generational wealth that we aren't sometimes taught as young people. So when we educate ourselves, we are able to, impart that wisdom, going forward. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun, man.
Yeah.
Favorite teammate?
Ooh, favorite teammate. Kyle Ivy Jones out of Hempstead High School. Played with him in Rhode Island. Europe, Albert Burdett out of Texas.
Only get one.
Oh, only get one? My bad.
Kyle Ivy, you stay with Kyle?
Kyle Ivy Jones, man.
You was quick though, man. A lot of people on the show, they like, oh man, Take him like 5 minutes to answer that.
The kid, I mean, he was, to me, a point guard 1, 2, 3, 4. I seen him get on the block, hit you with jumper, through the legs, lead the break, and I was unheard of when I came up.
Favorite basketball moment?
NCAA tournament. Because as a kid, all you want to do is get to the dance. And when we got to the dance, we played Purdue with Glenn Robinson, and the reporters were talking about, how the matchup is going to be against North Carolina. We beat them, and I tapped the mic. Remember when y'all was talking about Purdue? They had to get to us first, and they did it. So that was my favorite.
That was
moment.
You had to go to New York.
I had to, man. It comes out.
That's dope.
It comes out.
All right. Here we go. Toughest opponent.
You know what's funny? This coming up in New York, you didn't really know people's names. Ty Boogie?
Oh, Todd Davis, Todd Dangerous, whatever you want to call him.
Todd.
Cal State Bakersfield.
Problem.
On wheels.
Problem. And
I already know.
Even when I got to be a professional, it was still a problem.
Wow, man, that's a big kudos to Todd Davis, because you played against a lot of people. He was slippery.
Yeah, it's like, man, how do you get in front of him? Did he stop on a dime? The only thing that saved me, the jumper wasn't pure.
Right.
If the jumper was pure,
he'd be a millionaire. Good dude, man, doing a great job coaching kids right now. Todd's doing really well. Just got married.
Oh, man.
Still out in Brooklyn, man. Big shout out to Todd Davis. Last one. You got the ball. 5 seconds left. First of all, I know you're going to shoot it more often than not.
Facts.
Right? But you got to give the ball up to somebody on the wing. Now, they got to take a jumper. Who you giving it up to? Of any teammate you play with. Who's cash money on the assist?
It's an Italian player, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Name is Paolo Moretti. Won a championship with him in Italy.
Okay.
Funny story, his son was 1. Did you watch Texas Tech this year?
Yeah.
Davide Moretti.
Wow.
That's his son.
Wow.
His dad was cash.
Full circle.
Cash.
You get the last word, man. Talk to the youth about, some of the things that you were able to help get your success and you think might be able to help them.
As a youth, I was a good listener. And I was able to apply when someone gave me some constructive criticism or someone told me I could do something better. I took that in every aspect, whether it was business or whether it was college or whether it was just coming up. To have the ability to apply what someone tells you and put it part of your game or part of your personality. I have a lot of mentors. I had 2 or 3, but man, they were great.
Okay.
They were great and gave me a foundation. Vince called me the other day, just chopping it up. I mean, those are lifelong, to me, friendships on how I was able to grow up. Now, Pierre taught me how to be a man.
Okay.
That was that bravado. Just shut it up, man. Look me in the eye when I talk to him. Like, what's that? I didn't get that from my dad.
Right.
So I had dads outside of my real dad, but dads in the basketball world helped me develop to be the person I am. And just be a good listener. And don't think you know it all. Not to say that generation does, but okay, yes sir, and then I tried to apply what I was told.
Abdul Fox.
And respect.
Queen's finest, bottom to the top hoops, City Legends, E. Jones with Black Elvis. We out.
Abdul Fox, you watching from the bottom to the top hoops. Just want to say I appreciate him creating this platform to educate the old and new about Basketball City, not only coming up in New York, but at a global icon. So muchly appreciated, E. Jones.